One of the two things are happening here. It's either we're going bankrupt or we're going to be extremely successful. And I tell you, every time I'll bet on myself.
Yeah.
We demoed at 91%. We closed at 82%.
Whoa.
For $557,000 our first month. It was the elite mindset of being hungry. So we fast forward through 2024 and we do $86 million.
Yeah.
For our first year, our average project was like $11,700. That was wet and dry. And we're up over 18,000 now.
Wow.
We started the company with no debt. We're cash flow positive, fully profitable, and we haven't taken $1 of debt.
We were the only company in home improvement history to ever do 15 million in their first year. We were the only company to ever do 100 million in their first 2 years.
If you don't know your metrics as a business owner, in my opinion, you're not running your business is running you.
It wasn't about the money. It was just about
Welcome back to Owned and Operated. Today on the show, I have AJ and Noah from Premier Home Pros. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I mentioned to a couple of friends, I was like, hey, this morning I'm having a bath company on that went from like 0 to almost 200 in a couple of years. And everyone immediately knew. And these are people all over the country. They're like, oh yeah, it's Premier Home Pros. Here's what I would like you to ask them. It was kind of funny. I feel like you guys have done a good job distributing the message on LinkedIn of what you guys are doing. But I'd love to spend a couple minutes and dive into like what the heck is Premier Home Pros and a little bit of the background. What do we do and what's it look like now? So AJ,
Sure.
Walk us through it.
Yeah. Let's kind of go back to like how Premier started. I think that's the first.
Yeah.
That would be in. Actually, let's talk about me and Noah's relationship first. So me and Noah became friends in 2018. We worked for a previous home remodeling company, Window Nation. Noah came in as a salesperson, working in the office with me. We gained a pretty good friendship. That migrated over into a new company. We went and worked at Leaf Filter for a number of years. And our friendship just continued to strengthen at that point. So we both had that kind of burning entrepreneur itch. Like, hey, like there's a greater calling. Like, let's do something bigger. Let's do something together where, we're kind of the narrators of our own story. So in 2022 is when Premier kind of started. It really started nothing more than literally at like a dining room table. We were like, what do we want to do? What kind of product do we want to get into? It was me, him, my wife. And we said, you know what, let's do bathrooms. Let's try bathrooms. We were looking at the qualified remodeler list and we're like, roofing's very, very clouded. There's a ton of window companies in Northeast Ohio.
Clouded being like, there's a lot.
There's just so many companies that are doing roofing, and then the segment of a lot of it is insurance claims. And so we're like, bathroom is a carve out that I think that we have a real opportunity to grow and scale this business in, because we always had the bigger picture of Premier is not always going to be a Northeast Ohio company. It's going to grow across the country, at least what our dreams were, come from where we came. So in 2022, December, we ran our first lead.
Yeah.
I had a background running bathrooms working at Erie. Back in the 2012 to 14 range, Erie ran bathrooms. Now they're a metal roof company, but they were at that time, they did everything. They did windows.
Is that like cabinets. Erie Roofing?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were Erie Construction at the time before they branded it Erie Metal Roofing.
Yeah.
So I had enough background in bathrooms to be dangerous. And, I took a sales system that I wrote back in 2018 and I said, let's implement this into bathrooms. And then me and Noah really kind of built out this model of like from A to Z, what it was going to look like. And a lot of it was on the fly, but, so 2022, December, we were on our first lead. We went to Cortland, Ohio, Youngstown. I literally turned on a home advisor program on a Thursday. On Monday, we had our first lead. Me and him are in a car together. We're driving up there. He's like, what do you think this is going to be like? I said, honestly, I think we're going to slam dunk this.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about what was going to happen after we sold it. Like, if we sold it, like, where does it go from there? Like, who's installing it? What are we doing with the aftercare part of this, right? So we get up there and it's exactly as we envisioned. Like, we sit with this lovely couple. We hammer them down. We sell it for like $11,300. We get in a car and I go, so Noah, what do you think? And he goes, I think we can do this. So we're in a car driving home and then, then we're taking another guy that is still with our company today, John Hopkins. And I said, listen, it's going to be us three this month. Let's just turn on the leads.
Yeah.
Let's knock it out the park in December, the month of Christmas. We demoed at 91%. We closed at 82%.
Whoa.
For $557,000 our first month. Now, all those sales kind of came in the first month.
I want to hit that I want to double click on that for a
Yeah.
second, because that's crazy. I mean, just the demo rate alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that exclusive to remodeling? Because it's a high
That's
interest.
extremely high.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
Like our demo rate's like 40%, which is considered best in class for our industry.
Our demo rate presently today hovers between 77 and 80%.
That's crazy too.
But it was the elite mindset of being hungry. You know, it was a 3 people that were running leads,
Yeah.
something fresh. We were rejuvenated of, you know, going from working corporate America to doing this. And the mindset was everything, right? So we were like, we're going to demo every opportunity we get, and we're going to close every one of them.
Are you tired of chasing reviews and watching competitors outrank you on Google? Well, Big Reputation has your back. They're an AI-powered review and SEO platform built just for home service businesses. With automated review generation, AI keyword-rich responses, and heat map local search tracking, you will finally get the visibility and reputation that you deserve. Plus, they integrate with all major CRMs that you already use. The best part? The setup is free and your first month is on the house. Book your demo in the description below.
So we ended with 557,000, and then I was like this. Noah, figure out how to install it, man. And he's like, install it. Like, I don't know anything about installation. I said, that's where you're going to have to blend a little bit. So he's like, we're sitting in this room in our new office in North Canton, and he's sourcing, trying to find a project manager. And we had this guy kind of an intern project manager, and we're sourcing installers. And at the time we're sourcing products from all these different places. So then I kind of fast forward, and we get to April, and this guy comes in our office, and I'm actually not there that day. Noah's there. This guy named Jake Amrine comes in his office, and he says, "Hey, I just figured I'd stop by. I was making my runs today. I'm from Trumbull Industries in Youngstown, and I know you guys do bathrooms, so I figured I'd stop in and see if you guys need anything from product wise." So him and Noah start talking. The guy goes, "Well, we actually offer this wall system. And I think that you guys would love this wall system if you've seen it."
A Sterling wall type thing?
No. So we were presently selling in our first 4 months of existence acrylic.
Yeah.
High definition plastic, right?
Yep.
And we were selling it fine. But this guy comes in and shows us this manufactured stone product, which is just unbelievable. Okay. So Noah's first question always is, how much? How much is it going to cost us, right? The guy goes, "Well, it's going to be 40%, probably more than acrylic." And we're like, turn you off like real quick, right?
Yeah.
So he follows back up a couple days later. He's like, "Just come out to Youngstown. Just come out, see our facility, sit down with the owner team, and see if there's a fit for you."
Do they control the manufacturing of this product?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a white labeled product through Trumbull.
Correct.
Understood.
So we didn't realize that. I'll say it just like this. We didn't realize that like God's blessing was in the next door. Like we met this company, we go to this place, and everything just kind of fits like a glove. We walk in there, and we meet the VP, the owner, and Jake, and we start talking about this product. And I'm like, I'm wowed by this product. I'm like, oh, we got to make this product work. And at the time, the price of the materials was a lot more. So come to find out, as we fast forward, they're the manufacturer of our doors, of our bases, of our walls, of everything.
Interesting.
Everything.
Interesting.
One company, one stop, seamless transition there, right? So we're sitting in this room, and we're towards the end of the conversation, and I tell Chick, which was their VP, I said, "I want you to realize something, that the team that you had here today is going to be your biggest client you ever." And he's like, "Well, we heard that before. We've heard it." I said, "I'm telling you, you don't understand the people that are sitting in front of you. Like when we capitalize and commit to something, we're going to be your best client." We fast forward 6 months from that day, we were the largest client in the country for him. So it's been a great relationship through Premier's evolvement, and as we've continued to mature. So we fast forward that we finished that year at 15 million. And
so full year one,
year
15
one
million
of
gross sales.
And that's 3 offices. That's Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia.
We'll dive more into this later, but what's inside an office?
So you have a sales manager, what we would consider an operations manager, because he's kind of in control of the office and all the day-to-day operations.
But like he's driven to be like he's vibes sales manager.
He's your sales manager, right? He's your leader of your office. Then you have a project manager. He's the guy that runs the crews, the scheduling, the installation, the aftercare of the product, all those things. You have a service manager, and you have a sales team and a team of installers.
Okay.
And that's your model that you have. And from there you build on that, right? So we fast forward to that year, we do $15 million. Noah stood up in front of, at the end of our award ceremony, and he said, I think that in 2024, we're going to shoot for 50. If I backtrack that 2 months before that award ceremony, me and him sat down and we were talking, and we're like, listen, we're two intelligent minds, but we can only take this business so far, because at the end of the day, we don't know enough about marketing to take it to the stratosphere where we want to go.
Yeah.
We need to find somebody that knows the business, that knows the marketing business. So as I'm thinking, and I'm going through my LinkedIn, and I'm going through my network of all the people I know in 16 years, I said, I got somebody. I know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He worked at Leaf Filter. He was the SVP of Leaf Filter, Senior Vice President of Marketing. And I was aware that he moved on from Leaf like a year or two before I left, but I didn't know where he was at in his career. And at the time, the way that we left Leaf and moved to something different, I knew if I reached out to him, that was the first thing that would come to mind. He'd be like, I'm sure you guys are doing great, but God, I remember what happened when you left Leaf. Like, it just didn't end well, right? So I didn't think he would know who I was. I wasn't sure he would know who Noah was. So I said, Noah, reach out to him. Just reach out to him. So Noah turns on the sales mode and puts on the hat, and he goes, listen, hey, my name's Noah. We got this unbelievable company at Premier Home Pros. We're going to do $15 million this year. We think we can supercharge this business to great heights, but we need somebody like you. And he goes, I appreciate you reaching out. It's a great opportunity. You guys are doing unbelievable things, but I think at this stage of my career, it'd be a huge step back. I moved on from Leaf. I'm now the CMO at ARS. Mm-hmm. And I got kind of a cookie cutter job, but it's white collar, and I don't really want to shake things up of what I've been chasing for so long. But I'd be interested in talking. And Noah said, just have coffee with us. Mm-hmm. Just have coffee with us. We sat down in Cuyahoga Falls. I don't remember the diner.
I don't either. No.
I know where it was at. It's on the main road across from Leo's Italian Social.
Okay. Yeah.
It's on the corner there, a little old diner. And we sat there at this coffee table. And it was a book of our Trumbull samples. Mm-hmm. And it was me and Vince crammed in a seat together like this, and Noah across the table. And
I'm a big guy, so I had to sit.
It makes sense. Yeah,
we had this unbelievable conversation.
Really.
We had an unbelievable conversation, and we left that conversation like, I don't know what's going to come of that, but it gave us some more insight of kind of where the template of where to avenue from there, right? Within 2 hours, he calls Noah, three-ways me in, and he said, guys, when I left that day, or 2 hours ago, I literally ran home to my wife and said, I got the itch. Like, I got to be part of this. Like, I can't miss this opportunity. And I know it sounds crazy, Amanda, but I have to leave when I'm at, and I want to go work with these guys. Mm-hmm. Now, when we first reached out to Vince, we wanted Vince to work for us as an employee, not with us, right? Because we didn't really see the vision at that point of like how we would make it all fit. Well, it ended up being in that it worked out better. He became in as a third owner,
Yeah.
So we fast forward through 2024, and we do $86 million.
Yeah.
And we opened 6 more additional locations.
Yeah.
So now we're at 9 at the end of 2024. And then here we are presently chasing $174 million this year.
Yeah. When you're sitting down, when you're like working through original product mapping, can you, I guess we should even talk about what the service is first.
So we do full service bathroom remodeling in as little as 1 day. Bathtub, shower replacements, walk-in tubs, aging in place products. We will do flooring. We will do vanities. We will do toilets on kind of a pull and replace model. But the bread and butter of our business is, bath and shower replacements.
Yeah. What is the average order value?
$18,300 is our average contract. If you take, we delineate it into kind of 2 types of orders, a wet and a dry. So wet is always every
That's
job.
A tub.
Yep.
Tub or shower, right?
Okay.
And then the dry would be outside of the wet area, floor, vanity, toilet, some combination. That's almost $21,000. And then showers by themselves are almost $16,000.
So the dry is 21?
If they're combined, if we're doing a shower and a vanity together,
a
floor and
wet and dry. Every job has at least a wet.
Okay. What is the smallest? You guys mentioned something like your first sale was 11. Is that like the smallest
Talk
it gets?
about how
basically?
the average sale has went up throughout the years.
Yeah. I'm because I think what I want to get to is like, well, what is the service? What's the timeline?
Sure.
But also, like, I think what makes this fascinating is probably the SKU count seems pretty tight.
We try to keep it as tight as possible. We do kind of pride ourselves on bringing a very customizable and almost a la carte process to the home.
Yeah.
As a business, you have a lot more SKUs than we have, but you want to keep your SKUs as tight as you reasonably can while still keeping your customers happy. So,
Yeah.
we offer 14 different wall systems. It's 7 different colors, 2 different patterns, essentially. And,
Yeah.
4 different bases and a handful of doors, and just let the customer kind of pick and choose their finishes and match it all together, almost like a bespoke model where they choose what they want.
And that's like 20, 30 combos, sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, give or take.
Yeah.
And, in terms of order value over the years, in we're in our 3rd year now. We're starting our 29th month in existence in May. And it's gone up considerably and consistently as we've grown. Some of it is growing into more expensive markets, or markets that have a higher cost basis for anything that you would buy in Philadelphia versus Northeast Ohio, right?
Yeah.
But then also, we had a cost bump when we switched from acrylic when we started to our engineered stone product now considerably.
Yeah.
And that was a calculated bet that we would have a higher average order value, and that was 100% correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gone up considerably. When we first started our first year, our average project was like $11,700. That was wet and dry combined, like everything total.
Yeah.
And we're up over 18,000 now. We're able to offer a few more higher quality things to our customers that they absolutely love. But we're also getting better at being able to find some of the really finer things that customers.
But talk about that, like don't leave that part out. Like, talk about the first year of like how we did everything, and now we've streamlined it. So we have a higher ticket average sales price now.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it scalable. I mean, it's the low SKU count. That's my dream. I've always joked that like my dream scenario is all I do nationwide is install water heaters.
Sure.
Because that's like 6 SKUs. Yeah. But I'd love to hear about that.
When we first started, we would sell anything and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. We had installers that do it, right? Like we're not
so like siding, like
no. Within the bathroom.
Okay.
Knocking out walls.
How far did we go?
Yeah, knocking out walls, widening doorways, moving plumbing.
So like
vanities.
Really a construction company.
Yeah.
At that point.
A little too much, right?
Yeah.
And we did it well. We did it right. We had the right people to install it. You can't sell something you can't do, right? So we always kind of focused on that, making sure that we could actually enact on the things that we promise homeowners. But as we got to the end of 2021 2023 across 3 offices, and we said, this is a little more complicated than a scalable model is going to allow for. We need to chill out on this. So no more moving toilets, no more busting out walls left and right and moving plumbing and vanities and all this jazz and building walls. No more of that. Let's turn into a pull and replace company and get our SKUs down, but also get our labor items down as well. So our installers aren't trapped at a job for 7 days, not making enough money. We got to make sure these guys can feed their families and can turn jobs. So we've gotten really, really good at not just marketing for the things that we want to do, the more pull and replace model, which is really what we've started. I don't want to ever say master. We've started to get very good at that.
Yeah.
But we've really simplified things that we won't do anymore as well.
Said no a lot more.
Said no to our sales team.
And those houses in Northeast Ohio and the Cleveland area that have the old 60s pink tile wrapping around the border of the walls that's going into the tub. We used to tear all that out. I mean, we would tear all that border tile out and replace the drywall. And, you think about drywall replacement and sanding and mudding and finishing, you're there 3 days. And and then just.
So that's how we used to do bathroom models. This was forever.
Sure.
Yeah. When I bought the business, we were like $1 million total of revenue. And we were doing bathroom models, and it was these $35,000, $40,000 like bespoke bathroom models, and every single one would take like 3 to 4 weeks. And I got out of it as fast as I could because it was like, it's crazy.
It's so bogged down.
Yeah, you're bogged down. It doesn't make any sense, and margin was terrible. So we've sort of avoided baths, but like this makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
Bathrooms and kitchens are those projects that people spend a lot of time in those rooms, and they look at every single fine issue that you could find inside the bathroom. They go, oh, that trim doesn't look perfect. Or, so we were like, it's almost impossible to perfect this and execute it to where the customer's always happy. So we just have refined the process and just made the process a lot more streamlined. So it's easier to.
I like to say that we commonly we've built the airplane while it's in the air.
Yeah.
Right. So
When
it's been fun.
when you did the transition, maybe like saying no more. I don't know if it was like a hard stop or like, over a couple months, but I would assume the first concern was like what happens with closing rate. So like what did happen with closing rate?
We found ourselves into number one, more jobs. The question isn't, when you say no to a customer, are they all going to say no? The question is, when you say no to a customer, which that's not really our bread and butter, a customer really appreciates that. The question is, how many of those customers are still going to say yes to what you can offer?
Yeah.
And we found a very large portion of them still say yes. And look, at the end of the day, the customers that don't want to hire us because they want more of a full service model and a really complex build, we're probably not the right company for that. We're probably not. Everybody is good at what they're good at, and we know what we're not and what we shouldn't be. And for us, it was the closing percentage went down a couple percent, but that just accelerated our cash turn because I don't think we would ever say we don't have enough business.
Mm-hmm.
This is almost an insatiable market if you do it the right way. And we just found ourselves into more of the jobs that we wanted, that served us right, served our customers right, but ultimately accelerated our cash turn at the same time because we're not stuck in homes for 7 days, or we're not having too big of a backlog. We're right in the meat and potatoes of what we want to do.
Yeah.
Just accelerating that.
Yeah.
We were able to scale down the expectations with the customer, recenter the focus on what was really important to them. And most of the time it's the shower. And then really train the sales team in the transition of how to communicate it properly.
Yeah.
So that the customers are okay with those expectations. Like, let's not gripe about the 5% of the bathroom that we can't do. Let's talk about the 95% of the bathroom that we can do.
Yeah.
And we found ourselves as we went from like a 57 close down to a 53, and we were doing way more revenue.
Yeah.
And our installers were happy because they were making more money because they were getting into 4 or 5 jobs a week versus 2.
Yeah.
So it was like, it ended up being a really, I would say, a win-win across the board in every aspect that we could check a box next to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes total sense. For, in hindsight, it makes total sense, but like, yeah, that tracks. So limited the SKU counts, limited the amount of products we're going to place. And you guys are sort of what's the opposite of a mullet? But you guys are like party up front, business in the back, right? So like, yeah, bangs. I don't know.
I think it's what the teenagers have today with their curly hair down.
Yeah.
They can't
So you don't
Like you guys got what I was putting.
Yeah.
But sales and marketing, and we're finding partner companies to install our products. Yeah. So what's it look like finding and sourcing vendors in like Pittsburgh? Like you guys are here in Akron. Like what did that look like?
That's the beautiful thing. Like, we have one vendor for the entire country.
I meant installers.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, so it's went through phases of growth. Obviously, every department has broadened dramatically, right? Our recruiting team now is a broad team. In the beginning, it was just my wife. She was the one person recruiting for the entire country that we had.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just going to the market, posting the ads on Indeed and all your hiring platforms, vetting those calls up front. Hey, listen, do you have tools? Do you have a trailer? Do you have a truck? Do you have reliable transportation? Do you have workers' comp and liability insurance? Yes, great. Schedule you for an interview, right? Project manager fields those interviews and filters out. And I would say no market has been challenging. Like, no market has been overly challenging finding installers because Premier pays well. We pay well. We believe that we would rather pay great on our sales team and pay great to our installers, and we'll figure the other stuff out in the back to continue to be a profitable business, which we are. But when you pay talent stays, right? That's just what it comes down to. And when you're dealing with bathrooms and you're dealing with the intricacies of what the liability and risk of a bathroom can be, you better have good people installing it. So him saying we simplified SKUs, we got into more systems. We've created processes with how we install, which products we offer, what kind of sealants we're using, what all the different options on doors and niches and shelves. We've just refined that so that we don't have a million different ways to skin the cat. Let's make it 1 or 2 different ways. And it's a lot easier just picking colors and changing the colors. So I would say as far as getting the labor has not been difficult. We start every market with, like I told you, an operations manager that controls the sales team, a project manager, which controls the install team, and then recruiting goes to work. And we fill and we build around that. We got a sales leader and an install leader, and we build around that. And there's a work through process where you're filtering out if the salesperson's the right fit as they go through training. Each one of those departments go through strenuous training. We put them through a complete premier sales product training, complete sales process training. And then the same thing with install. They go through an install training. We need to know, I've been doing this for 20 years. That's great. Let's see you install the product. But let's see you take the product and install it, making sure we know you know how to move plumbing and you know how to mess with a P-trap and change the valve and do all the things that people say they can do. Let's make sure you know how to do that before we send you out. We have a field trainer that takes these installers out for the first week and they shadow.
Yeah.
And then each day of the install, we start to kind of pull the shell back a little bit and say, now you do this step. Let's watch you do it, before we kick them loose. So we know that by the end of that week that we've taken these people out, they're ready to go, that we know they can do the job.
Mm-hmm.
And how we've kind of structured our business, because when you ask, how do you find installers and stuff, we know it's a process to find a collection of the right installers, right? So going back to the genesis of this company, we started the company with no debt. We still have no debt to today. We're cash flow positive, fully profitable, and we haven't taken $1 of debt. And we built this P&L from the beginning to be almost 70% variable. So if we don't sell a job, we don't have any costs other than employees and some marketing costs that are recurring. We're going to sell jobs, right? So it allows us, when we greenfield a location, a lot of companies are doing M&A and they're taking out debt, buying other companies, systems, processes, and kind of trying to merge them into a platform and make them all one. For us, we have a 46-day payback period on any greenfield location on average. And the reason why is because our P&L is basically fully variable, and we're not out a ton of investment over time because the market starts cash flowing very quickly. And so it allows us to buy time to find the right installer base. It allows us to find the first 2 good installers, really work with them, get another one in there, and over time build the right collection of people so that when we can accelerate the marketing, when it really starts to dive in 90, 120, 180 days out, we have the installer base, we have the sales base, and we're ready to just start moving business.
Inside the 70% that's variable, what's the 30 that's not? Like base comps?
G&A, marketing.
Yeah.
Rent. 2 things. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And variable, are we counting COGS in variable?
No.
Okay. So that's like variable OpEx.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because COGS only happen when the job actually finally gets installed.
Yeah. Right. Are you still missing calls after hours or losing leads while your team sleeps? That's why we work with Avoca AI, owned and operated's exclusive call center partner. They answer 24/7, sound like a real human, and plug straight into your CRM to book jobs, send quotes, and even revive old leads. There are plenty of AI call centers out there, but we trust Avoca because we've seen the results firsthand. More booked jobs, less wasted spend, and no more missed revenue. See it in action at the link below. Start winning more jobs today with Avoca. I mean, I want to double click on that a lot. So we drop in a new manager, we greenfield.
Sure.
48-day payback.
46 on average.
46? Yeah, that's wild. What is the dollar that it takes? Like $100,000? $200,000?
Starter market?
Yeah.
For us, less than that. If you look at the totality of the cost, it's like $96,000. I haven't updated in the last 30 days, but it's typically right around $100,000 to get a market started. But in terms of cash flow or cash out to cash in, it feels like much less than that almost immediately, because what we end up doing is there's a premier way. We've coined this motto of this is who we are. This is how we do business across, 200, 300 people in this organization now. And we try to find the right people. We always say, if you have the right person, you have the market, right? And we've got marketing planned out for the next 30 markets. We already have the zip codes that we want to attack and the type of homeowners we want to go after. So we're looking for the right operations sales leader, right? That can convert our spend into revenue. And once we find that person, we get them through training, we get the lease, they get into the market, and they immediately, 3 days before we actually want to start running leads, we buy the marketing. We buy the leads, they start coming in, call center starts qualifying them, getting a schedule built together for a couple in-house sales leaders to go out to the market with that new sales manager and start selling projects and generating revenue. At that point, we have our sales trainer in-house that is training the first team of sales reps to go out in the field in a week or two to join that sales manager. And then we just kind of get it started from there. So almost from day one, when we're running leads inside of a market, we're starting to generate revenue. It's because we have the right leader to get out there and grow it from nothing. We have the system, the playbook, and the
Well, in the
process to
lead
do it.
playbook too, something that's been really interesting as we're looking to Greenfield our next spot is a like industry standard, which I'm curious if it's the case with what you guys have seen. It probably is with roofing, but industry standard for Greenfielding plumbing, HVAC, electric is I'm going to come in and I'm going to drop 80 grand a month of like branded
Sure.
spend.
That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. And then so then it becomes this like race. First off, you're already down $1 million. I was talking to someone Monday, and 5 location shop in Pennsylvania, 130 of revenue. So like that's a lot. And they're getting ready to greenfield their next spot, and it's $500,000 in the first 90 days,
Yep.
all brand.
Yep.
And it sounds like that's not the play. Like we're buying leads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the best way to keep your comm low.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, you're going to have to weed through a lot of fat, where you're paying for a branded lead that is calling you specifically your brand. They're calling you, probably not shopping you, and your conversion rate to convert that to an appointment, it's probably like 95%, right? Unless you hear some kind of a red flag on the call that says, we're not a good fit for you, or we can't help you. That's such a high conversion rate where when you're dealing with affiliate marketing, you're weeding through a lot of things that the customer's window shopping. The customer thinks that we just do repairs. We're outside the work scope.
So are you guys branding? I mean, it sounds like you're buying the leads directly.
We do both.
Okay.
We do both. The weight of percentage is much higher with affiliate marketing than it is with branded.
What does affiliate marketing mean to you?
You're buying leads from like
Angie's List.
Yeah, Angie's List.
Okay. I've never heard that called affiliate marketing.
And affiliate marketing can be a non-branded lead, or it can be a branded lead.
Okay.
A non-branded lead is, hey, I'm just interested in a bathroom, and I just put my name in there, and 3 or 4 companies call me, and the first one there probably wins the job, right? You can close them on the spot. A branded lead is the affiliate marketer creates a campaign that has your logo on the lead, whether it's a social ad or a banner ad, and they're running it and saying, this is Premier, we're advertising for a bathroom, and people are clicking that, and you're only getting their form. So you're converting at a higher clip. Cost per lead on that is a lot more expensive than just buying it from a pool, but there's a place and time for each one of them.
Yeah.
We run a lot of non-branded ads that, with affiliates that happen to be our best cost of marketing conversions, like, sub 15%. So it's a great lead source, but yeah, there was definitely, I think it's way more difficult to scale a business going with branded leads.
It's just a longer time frame.
Yes.
Well, it's a longer time frame, and it's
the front end.
prohibitively expensive.
Yes.
Our bet was always to buy the demand that exists while we work on generating demand through our brand.
Yeah.
And that's a long.
I think that's what makes sense to me too. I think, and I'm wondering if it's a generational gap of like the folks that I'm seeing doing the branded spend tend to be like that worked 10 years ago. So that's how we're going to do this. But like, what's your funnel now for just buying leads? Because the leads are there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the leads are there for bathrooms.
But you have to be able to convert.
Like everybody needs a water heater. Yeah. And I think that's a problem in our industry. Like you guys don't have, I think it's kind of funny to compare industries sometimes because, and Vince probably has this perspective too, from like dealing with plumbing but like our industry is so drunk on hot leads that they don't know what to do with an Angie's List lead. Like they don't even know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with like door knocking or like events because everyone's always expecting that bottom of the funnel. My toilet just broke. My furnace didn't turn on today. And I mean, you can get pretty far. Like you can get to $20-30 million on emergent leads, high close rate. But no one has like, or very few people have that funnel dialed in on acquiring leads the way you guys have had to acquire leads since day one.
Yeah, your industry is, and Vince can speak to this a lot more, but it's a need industry more than a want. And ours is we have a need. We definitely have a need. There's a lot of want. People will look at their pink tile bathroom and say, I want a new updated bathroom. Yeah. So we're able to capitalize on that a little bit. It's a little bit of a different type of consumer process. But part of the thing with like the payback period kind of goes back on a greenfield market, kind of goes back to chasing branded or chasing like current demand with affiliates is part of the reason that he was so excited to come over to Premier Home Pros and make it happen is because I mean he was the chief marketing officer at ARS. That's a $2 billion plumbing and HVAC conglomerate, right?
Right.
I think they have 120 brands or 150 brands, something like that.
Huge.
So just a larger version of what you guys are,
much.
right? And he's like, it's a 2-year payback period because we have to get in. And anytime we open a market, it's a 2-year payback period of millions of dollars because we have to get in there and saturate our brand.
Yeah.
And wait for the phone to start ringing. It takes time. You need trucks. You need just
they're almost all M&A though. And they're hovering at a 10 to 12% EBITDA.
Yeah.
So they're heavy in, but they also do affiliate marketing.
Sure.
They have I think it's like about 25% of their business is affiliate marketing. So like I said, there's a place in time, but I think
I mean, 46-day payback is wild.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's because there's real want generate or demand that
I mean, that's a hell of a flywheel.
Buy and convert.
Like, that's incredible. Back to, I accidentally skipped this, but I'd love to understand it a little bit more. So like we're either sitting at the kitchen table or we're at a cafe, but we're setting the tone for what we're going to do. We're going to launch a bath remodel company.
Yep.
What was original vision? Like, is this original vision? Are we surpassing where we thought we would be at this point? Like,
I mean,
because this is crazy.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in,
we're dreamers, number one.
being 100% transparent and upfront, like we dream big, like from the get go. Like we came from 2 jobs, working at Leaf, making absurd amounts of money, where most people would never leave that job. They would never even consider leaving the job. You know, when you're bringing in $600,000, $1 million a year, you're not leaving that job. But it wasn't about the money. It was just about like, I got to that point in my career where I knew I could serve better doing something different on my own. And he was in the same alignment. We're like, this may end up epically failing, or we're going to be like, we're going to transcend the industry, right? One of the 2 things are happening here. It's either we're going bankrupt or we're going to be extremely successful. And, you know, I'll tell you every time I'll bet on myself. I'll bet on myself every time. If my back's against the corner, I believe I'll fight my way out, and he feels the same. So when we envisioned Premier, we envisioned Premier to be a national footprint, like from the get-go. Now, there was a lot of like stepping stones and like getting off the road and coming back on, and there was multiple break points where we're like, whew, are we going to get through this?
A lot of luck.
You know, a lot of good things had to happen. And
what were some of the break points?
It's a people element, right? There's a people element, and you know, people that you believe are loyal to you or that are going to come through and do their part, and you know, you're paying for their talent and they fail you, or people leave you high and dry, and you know, you're dependent on one person to run a market, your leader, and that person leaves, and now you get this gaping hole. Or your sales team ends up depleted, or
marketing doesn't come through.
Or marketing's failing in a market for a short period of time. Or you know, installations just can't get up and run at the speed that you want them to get to. So this is a human capital business. Like I was asking in the hallway, is this an asset driven business or is this a human capital?
It's human. Yeah. We're a human business all day.
You rely on people to deliver the message and execute for you. And that's part of it. Right. So when we sat down, our vision was, let's create this to be just a monstrosity. Let's create this to be something great. And let's do something that no bathroom company's been able to do. There's plenty of other companies that have done this in other industries, in the home improvement industry, but maybe not bathrooms. Like, let's do this. And that was always the goal. So I would say yes to that answer, that when we sat down, when we pitched it to Vince, it wasn't, hey, we plan to be a $15 million company. No, we took it to 0 to 15. We were the only company in home improvement history to ever do 15 million in their first year. We were the only company to ever do 100 million in their first 2 years. Let's continue that pace. Like, let's not stop there, right?
We don't begin with that end in mind. We try to set up systems and processes and people and put them in the right lane to do things. And then we dream really big. It's almost like an irrational self-belief. I don't know. But, and I told you this before we started, we're just, I guess, dumb enough to try it, where it's not that we're irrational risk takers where we take risks that we shouldn't take or anything like that. It's we just always want to build it bigger and bigger and bigger and go and go and go. And there's not a natural stop sign in our heads for this. And your business will tell you what you can or can't do. And you got to push the limits. Like, to get a little bit uncomfortable, and it'll tell you when it's time to kind of slow down a little bit and focus on quality. We could have done $120 million in sales last year in 2024. We landed the plane at $86 million because it was the right thing to do for our customers and right thing to do for our infrastructure. But, during that time, we bought ourselves time to build it up to do 175, 180 this year. So we didn't ever begin with any ends in mind. When I got in front of the entire company at the end of 2023 to celebrate our successes in year one, and he mentioned, I had said, hey, I think we're going to do 50 this year. We had modeled that out. But we didn't put a cap on it, and we found ourselves at 86. We didn't say this is our business plan, Jan 1, and this is what we're doing this year, and we're not deviating. It's like, this is a living, breathing ecosystem. You never stop acquiring talent. You never stop building around your talent. And then at the end of the day, it'll consistently tell you what you should or shouldn't do, and you need to listen to your business and know your business.
And the unique thing is that I told you earlier that all the owners are very different, right? Mm-hmm. Noah falls almost into the conservative category with a lot of things, like where he's like, oh, pause, time out. Like, and me and Vince are like, pedal to the metal, baby. Like, we're going, let's push this gas all the way down. Mm-hmm. Like we're driving this to the moon. He's like, slow it down. We're not ready for this, So there's a good balance there because that happens all the time, where I'm like, dude, let's do 200 million this year. Oh, hold on. Let's shoot for 150, or it's the same thing with the 50. Like, let's shoot for 50. I'm like, I think we can do 100, and then
it's usually because of, we can't because of this, that we gotta solve first. It's not just stop to stop.
Yeah.
And we still end up getting there, but it's a good way to like re-gear and look at it through a different lens and say, okay, what's the bumps in the road on the way there, right? But to go back to this Premier story where we kind of found, like, I guess I'll use the word like the unicorn of the business, was that you have to have a couple things that happen in line to scale any business. The first one is you better have a documented, well-trained sales process. Like, it has to be to a T, A to Z, completely trained through and through your company. It's the living, breathing thing through your business, right? You have to then cultivate that in every other division. Your call center has to have a script. They need to know how to do rebuttal training. There needs to be a process of how you harness all the leads and where they go and where they store. There needs to be a CRM that talks to, an automation, and everything needs to kind of funnel together, right? But the biggest thing is you got to have a unique selling proposition. If you're selling a product, for you to scale to the way that we wanted to scale, you had to have a unique selling proposition, a product that was unique, that's different from everybody else in your category. If we would have stayed in the acrylic world, we would still be successful. 1, the margins wouldn't be there. 2, the average sale would never be there. And 3, I believe our turnover inside our infrastructure would be high because we're competing with a lot of companies that do the exact same thing. You can only do it so well. People are going to buy at that point your process. They're not buying your product. Mm-hmm. We wanted people to buy our product, and then our process was second, right? Our process got us to the product, but the product is what makes us unique. So
is this a lesson learned from Leaf? Because that feels like a portion of the Leaf strategy.
It's been my process for 16 years in every company I've ever worked at. Like, when I look at every company I've ever worked at that was 3 of the top 5 companies in the qualified remodeler,
they owned their distribution.
They have a unique product.
Yeah.
They have a unique product, right?
Yeah.
So we were lucky enough with this product to find that, to have to go with a state-of-the-art selling system. And then we bring in this marketing guru that can get the leads. And it was like all those things gelled. And then there was one missing element in the business: finding the right install leader, finding a person that could take your company to the next level. And we happen to have deep networks. And it was a person that I've worked with for going on 13 years that was at Leaf and, was looking to grow in his career. He wanted to take the next step. So timing's everything too, right? Like, that's part of it, is where are people at in their career? Are they willing to take a bet on you? Because that's what they're doing. They're taking a bet on us. We're young, ambitious, and we're knowledgeable, but we don't have a brand. We're a young company, right? At that stage, people are taking bets on you. And we were lucky enough to be able to tap into a network that I had for a long period of time in the sales industry, that people took a bet on us. And that's how these markets became great markets, was we had the right person. He made that saying to you. He said, if you have the right person, you have the market. That's what it starts with, having the right person. So we were lucky enough to have good people around us to build the business. That's where it starts, that end process.
Yeah. You said 200 people on the team. Is that inclusive of contractors? Like,
Yeah, and I think
1099
with
stalls?
1099s, I think it's over 300 now.
Yeah, yeah. What's the org chart like look like?
Um, and what facet? I mean,
How many sales? How many frontline leaders? What's
yeah.
senior
So
leadership
we've got,
look like?
obviously head finance, head of install operations, head of marketing, head of call center, and then he heads up sales, and then we have several senior seasoned sales leaders that run regions, and kind of manage managers, if that makes sense. And then, we got managers in the call center. We got managers all along, ordering um, and installation. And so it's,
How many corporate employees inside the building?
gosh, over almost 100.
65 or
No, almost 100 now with all the call center inside sales reps.
Yeah. And inside sales reps for your industry, that's like an inbound lead and outbound lead. Like that's rehash. That's
Rehash is its own.
Yeah, we have rehash in its own.
but like inside sales for you guys. Like that's an Angie's List lead would go to inside sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody
So anything
that
inbound.
fills out a form or sees a commercial, calls anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we call and try to be the first person on the phone with them and get out there today, if not tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm imagining all the friction of growing an org chart that quickly. Obviously people, but like as we're thinking about growing leaders inside the organization, has that been the path? Like how much of it has been growth inside versus obviously clearly we talked about some really key pivotal outside hires.
I think we've to find your top leaders, we had to go outside, right?
Most-
And then let them start cultivating people on the inside.
Yeah.
We're really starting to get to that pipeline where
Yeah.
people know the premier way they came up through the org. And we want to get to a culture where we only promote from within.
Yeah.
And we're almost basically there. But to start it from the genesis of it, you got to find the right person that's probably done it elsewhere, and then let them kind of start the systems processes in their department, and then put people in there and let them work up underneath them. That's kind of been our model.
Yeah. We've seen that for us too. Like heads of departments have come from outside.
Sure.
Some director from somewhere else that's been able to sort of convert their frontline leaders into more. How large is the recruitment team? I just got to know that.
Yeah, they're a team of 5.
Really?
Team of 5.
That doesn't even seem like that much.
No,
For
but
the amount of hiring you guys are
they're broken into divisions and markets, so
like region.
yeah, so like Audrey she'll take the Midwest, she'll take Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, and Dayton. And with those, she'll handle all the facets of operations there. She'll handle the installers.
Yeah.
We don't circulate project managers. They stay where they're at. People are happy in their jobs. Same with service tech and field trainers. It's not a heavy circulation position. We're circulating a lot of installers constantly bringing more people in the door, and salespeople. So that's really your 2 areas of recruiting that you're spending a majority of your workflows on, is those 2 areas.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with, and then if we add a region, like if we go to Minnesota, which we're going to go this year, she'll take on that part of her region as well. And each one of those 5 people have a region and a number of duties to do. So
they'll set up interviews for the leaders that are going to interview those candidates for those positions, and then they'll choose their person. So sifting through resumes, having initial calls, and setting up initial interviews, and then they take it from there.
Yeah. When you guys are in this current state, hopefully perpetual state of hypergrowth, how much tracking like gross margin and net margin has to be a moving target, I would assume. How are we dialed in on that? Or is that like, we will take care of that in a year or 2 years and just trying to get better?
I mean, we're always tracking it month by month. The really cool thing is I don't know how we've done this, or if it's different from other companies, but we've been able to calculate almost down to the dollar or down to the percent within a plus or minus of 2%. Our conversion rates down to how it plays into net profit in the end. So
walk me through it. Like 53%,
yeah,
54%. Like what happens with net?
For us, our model starts with marketing, modeling out a market, and then sending the zips that we will and will not buy leads in out to our marketing partners. They will tell us then how many leads that they can get us per month.
estimated.
And then from there, we'll take all of our conversion metrics and we'll dial the business down to a net profit percentage at the end of the day and damn near land the plan every single time near it. So it's a constant moving target. We know what we've modeled this year to look like.
Yeah.
Last year, we didn't try to make money. We ended up making money. We didn't try to, because when you're in a Greenfielding 6 locations and you're not even within 24 months of opening, it's like, you're not trying to make money. You're just trying not to lose it. We did that. We made some money. It's very, very happy to say that. It's almost hilarious that we did, but and this year is a year of doing it much more profitably. We are doing that now. And we have a finance team and they model it out, and we know our business inside out because we're not silent owners. We know the heartbeat of what's going on in every department and what we can and cannot enact on in terms of a business plan. And so we're able to model out month by month what the profit will be based on how we've built the P&L, COGS, all that good stuff, and then pretty much land pretty closely to it. So yeah, I think you can say that we're pretty calculated with it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
You got to know your conversion metrics.
The data gives us the answers, right? Like the historical data.
And you can do you run demo rate? Like, is demo rate pretty consistent?
Yes.
Like at the 87%
almost
in the
market? All the KPI metrics are very, very consistent within a few percent. When I say a few, like 2 to 3%. So when he's talking about like cost per lead, like we know, okay, this is the average cost per lead of all of our marketing team, all of our marketing sources. Here's the average cost per lead. Here's the estimated raw leads we're going to get in the market. Here's the estimated set percentage that we have off historical data. Out of that set percentage, how many of those are going to net set to an appointment? Of those net appointments, how many are going to occur into a demo? And based on historical data, how many are going to occur to a sale? Our average selling price, take the overall leads that we got as net appointments, divide that by the revenue, it gives you your net volume per issued lead. We know from that point on exactly all the metrics as it just flows down the chart. And then from there, we can basically say, we know that for the year last year, we installed 91% of our net revenue as a team. So if we put our net target at 92 or 93%, we know that Detroit's going to install X amount of dollars at the end of the month. And that's how we set our targets every month. But, crazy as numbers are, it's like we are within the first Q1, we were within like $200,000 of profit.
Wow.
In the surplus.
Yeah.
That's how close it was to the numbers.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. If you don't know your metrics as a business owner, the inside out conversion rates across the entire organization, you're not, in my opinion, you're not running your business is running you. Hope is not a strategy. So, you need to know everything about how your business converts, because then you have a business plan.
Guys, thanks for the deep dive into the sort of founding 24 months. Like, what a hell of a story. This was awesome. I feel like I learned a ton, brain spinning a little bit, but I can't wait to, go back across the parking lot and drive some of this stuff forward.
Sure.
If someone's thinking about, launching, or like, if someone is thinking about an entrepreneurial venture, like what's a quick hit from each of you on how they should be approaching this?
It's no secret that my office here in Nashville is almost completely empty. So how do I support my team as well as have great growth metrics? Well, the answer is international contractors with Quick Staffers. So Quick Staffers is a premier staffing agency which will place top-tier talent in your business, built by the trades for the trades. So if you need a CSR, they'll be placing a CSR that is highly trained in your business, that knows Service Titan and can book calls effectively day one, call one. Affordable, reliable, and trained in all of the industry best practices, Quick Staffers can help you cut that overhead, boost conversions, and scale your business fast. So don't waste another lead. Visit quickstaffers.com and transform your business today.
Oh gosh, I always say, be honest with you, I always say don't. It's crazy, it's nonstop, it's relentless, it'll take every ounce of you. But if you're built for that, you need to do everything within your business. You need to do everything, know everything within your business. You need to have a system and a process for how the playbook of how this is going to go. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't do it. Personally have done this if we didn't know what the playbook was going to be, if that makes sense. It's the most rewarding thing in the world. It's punishing when it doesn't go right. A lot of sleepless nights and a lot of stress. But it all, at the end of the day, starts with people. As a business owner, don't ever for 1 second think that you're special, because you're not. It's about the people that you have working for you, the one team, one dream. And if you don't have good people working for you, you're not going to get where you want to go.
I would say that everything starts in a business that you're going to start in this industry, at least, or any industry. It starts in sales and marketing. So if you have those two things planned out, the rest of the business can formulate to the way it needs to do. Sales drives your business. Marketing gets you in front of the audience, right? So you need to have those two things dialed in. And then I would say, build a business that is repeatable. If it takes you to do every facet of your business, rethink the business plan. If you have to physically go execute the service or sell the product yourself, revisit the business plan, because you want to be able to teach someone a process or a system that you can repeat and take some of that workload off of you to be able to scale your business and make business decisions from the top line, looking down on your business, so that you're not missing all the things that end up turning into you losing profit or possibly going out of business, right? It happens quick. So if you don't know your numbers and you don't have a time to reflect and look back and look at the things that are going on in the business, it happens quick. That's why so many people go out of business so quickly, because they're having to do too many things inside their business. So find a process, find a system, make sure that you can repeat that process. And that's the start of a business plan.
Yeah. I think for both of our industries, I think that roughly tracks, because I think everybody starts with, hey, I think about your industry specifically. Like I can't count how many bathroom remodelers that I know, and they're all like, $1 million of revenue.
And it's because
they're not sales and like
they're installation minded.
Yeah, their installation. It's a fulfillment crew. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this was a great time. If you want to hear more, make sure you go to ownedandoperated.com. If people want to get a hold of you guys, how can they do it?
Well, if they want to get a hold of business.
Yeah.
You guys need a bathroom.
www.premier-homepros.com.
Yeah. And active on LinkedIn.
Both of us
Active
are
on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And then both of us individually are actively on LinkedIn, correct?
Yeah. Awesome.
Shoot me a message.
Awesome. Thanks,
Happy
guys.
to give advice to anybody.